I hope you're having an amazing day. My name is Colin, and in this video we're going to have a look at the crypto market of today. What are the crypto gaming coins doing? Bitcoin sitting at about 41.8k, getting very close to the 42k, which it actually did hit last night. On a 7-day basis, we can see that linear upward trend. So obviously the fear and greed index moving from extreme fear into fear. One of the major roles in this is obviously the launch of the apecoin this week, bringing a tremendous amount of volume in terms of traction, news, hype to the market. So while this apecoin is getting stabilized, a lot of money has moved into other assets, which we can definitely see from the top 100 coins. Ethereum sitting at about $3,000 almost, back at a solid level. Luna hitting close to $95. Avalanche 89, Polkadot 20, Solana 93. So you can definitely see that moves are being made there. Other major gainers on the block, when we go a little bit more down, anything above 10%, Ethereum Classic, for example, Waves, be doing extremely well all week. Basically, as soon as that spike, Thorchain making significant moves there, and Maker, the graph, have made moves as well. What I'm most interested in, however, is definitely the gaming, right? What has happened in the gaming? Is there bullishness? The Launchpads? Let's have a look at how everything is moving. IOTAX is launching its IOTAX pad, I believe, tomorrow. Look at the date. Yeah, I think it's tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, but definitely there will be some bullishness on the IOTAX blockchain. Bitcoin 41.8k, top gaming tokens. So inside the gaming portfolio, we'll now find apecoin, not super relevant as of yet until they build that part of their ecosystem. However, something to consider moving forward. Higher market cap than Sandbox currently at the current price. So when we look at Decentraland Mana, we basically see a 5.8% gain. And the beautiful thing on most of the crypto gaming projects is that the 7-day average are now positive again. So 5% up on Mana, about 5% on Sandbox, and about 6% on Axie Infinity. Gala making faster moves at about 11%. And then Render Token making one of the most significant gains, 20.92%. Ultra barely moving at 3%. So this definitely went up and then it went down again. Vulcan making one of the biggest gains today at about 19.7%. You can definitely see that spike in the last couple of hours. I have been patient and it's paying off. My Neighbor Alice, about 9%. Then Mobox, 10%. Phantasma. So we basically see Wilder Wild finally coming back. So that might actually be quite an interesting one to look at, because you saw that basically a lower low point at about 114, and then it basically blasted up there, but it definitely had a huge decline spree, linear downward trend, and then basically the reversal was right here when basically the Bored Ape Yacht Club brought that cash influx into the market. Krabata up, usually a good performer. Merit Circle up quite high. Veracity, very slight gains, not as significant. GuildFi, very slight gains, still negative on a weekly average. D-Race still negative on the weekly average. X-World Games is not looking good at all. So basically that is something that must be like an exterior problem right there. Gods Unchained looking decent today. So basically, because of that influx in cash, there's obviously always the delay, which I've spoken about. There's always a 24 to 48 hour delay on the gaming crypto in response to the movement of Bitcoin. right? So Bitcoin shot up. It took about one day and a half for the crypto gaming to react on that, where the money basically flows from apecoin to Bitcoin to crypto gaming. Solchik's not doing anything. I'm still holding my last fasting, waiting for it to dump when the price is a little bit higher. But as again, I am patient, so nothing to worry about there. Let's have a look at the smaller microcaps. Polker making huge gains, 48% today. Anything else with major gains on the microcap side? So Legends of Fantasy War, 65% up. Definitely a huge bullish pattern right there. Anything else which we'd say Fear Token up 25%. Still significant percentages on these microcaps. So definitely something to consider. Always be aware of that you don't only have to trade the bigger market cap coins. The small cap have obviously more risk, but also more short-term potential. Aspo World might be still in a good buying position. Maybe it's something to do with the vesting or something, because that is just moving against the market pattern. It's just dropping. But there's only very, very little volume in it as well. And that's what's making it so risky. Right? If I would buy $10,000 worth of Aspo World right now, I can just pump the price by, let's say, 5-10%, and people might accumulate more as well, basically faking like a bullish pattern. So that's obviously the risk with these tremendously small market caps. Shadow Token, Crypto Sports down, Naneko making small gains today, but basically over the 7-week average still down. Then NFT Worlds up, so that's good, where it basically moved down quite a bit before, obviously, as we saw here. Basically linear downward trend, slowly easing off and now bullish again. Definitely quite interesting to see how that will develop. More traction on their NFTs. Nakamoto Games, as we covered, good, 10% almost. Cryo War picking up 16.5%. It really needed that push, so I'm quite happy that it did. Wonder Hero, we don't want to look at that. We'll never fuck with that again. Network, 27% gain. Very small gain today, but definitely to take into consideration. Altura, oh, that's some lovely gain. So 15%. Ooh, look at that linear upward trend. That's definitely, as of basically the entire day, it has been super stable. Oh, there has been a pump before, which basically maybe kicked it off, right? This initial pump to about 6.7, and now it actually reached that point only about 12 hours later. Nah, more, like 18 hours later. But basically making a smooth recovery. However, looking at the 1 month, it's basically almost near that point where, well, not almost near it, it's still 1 cent off, so it's still quite a bit, but it does look quite good in terms of the graph, specifically on the 1 month overview. So Altura, keep it in mind. One thing I do want to stress when you're looking at these gaming coins right now, because the market is green right now, don't make the mistake to purchase it right now. Draw your lessons, because you should have bought it when these coins were down, or at least more down, right? So when the market is fearful, when the coins are red, when there's blood in the streets on the crypto market, we buy tokens. At least in my opinion, that is the best way to go about things. Definitely, if something has pumped 43%, there's very little to still pump moving forward. So it's definitely not recommended to, at that point, make that move into the market, right? Might think that you might catch a little bit of the glimpse of what it has to offer, but I would say that that might be some wasted potential, right? Wasted cash flow. On the Launchpad, Super Farm sitting at about 10% gain today, so that's doing quite well. Specifically running up to the Imposters Mint, of course, next week. There is definitely some opportunity here for more growth in the short term. Downmaker and Seedify both as the bigger Launchpad making gains. So Polka Starter still suffering from that Binance listing, so it's still up on the 7-day weekly average, but down today because obviously it can probably not maintain that huge price spike. People start taking more profits. Downmaker down CDFI down on the 7-day average, with making some gains today. CDFI more significant than Dowmaker, but also Dowmaker hasn't had that much of a downtrend, and CDFI definitely has gone through that. Polka Foundry making some good gains. Pay Network finally making some gains again. And then we got the KCC pad, SwapSwap, definitely some higher numbers here. Comunitas being basically quite stable. Bullpuck still suffering. So the question is, when everything is pumping, why are these projects not able to at least get some traction, right? Some traction. Avalanche making good moves, basically on the AVX blockchain, doing well. So Avalanche is also doing well, sitting at about a 15% gain, 8% today. Launchpad making very significant gains. Meta VPad making some gains. Engine Starter, it is just nothing, right? There's nothing left. It's kind of like Bullpucks. It just doesn't seem to be able to recover. It just needs more time, right? And I think it will recover. It just needs more time. So let's just focus on something else in the meantime. Bin Starter taking quite big hits as well. Is there anything which is gaining? NFT launch. So all the Bluezilla launchpads are doing quite well. AnyPad also not able to recover, still struggling. 40%. It's probably one of the biggest losers together with Vulture Peak. We'll look at that in a second. See who the biggest gainers are and who the biggest losers are. Now we covered everything. So the biggest gainers is, well, Mewtwo, Inu. I don't think that's anything. That's like a huge meme project. So CeeLo Launch has done the best. Soul Racer in terms of the 24-hour gains. Polka Foundry, GameFi, Avalanche. Those are basically the top ones. And then over the last 7 days, it's basically Thor Starter, Pools Finance, actually Polka Starter, but that's obviously because of the Binance listing earlier, as you can see here. And then some of the smaller cap. So definitely one thing that you might analyze from the launchpads and the game tokens as well. Although there is a pump right now, and the pump is basically coming from that huge amount of influx of cash, basically which airdropped, right? 3.8 billion based on supply and demand. That was basically influxed into the market earlier this week, as we could see, which happened just a couple of days ago, right? What is important to consider here is that this momentum that is now being built on Bitcoin, right, as we're heading at literally right now to the 42K, where definitely it's the resistance, right, because it's testing it multiple times. Right now it's very, very close. It might go over, it might go under again. One thing, it doesn't mean that we're back into the bull run, right? And that's basically the thing I want to tell you today. And I want you to remember, don't get out of all your stables, push everything into coins in case you don't want to miss the bullish pattern, because this might be an indicator that things are heading into the right direction, or at least in the short term, there might be some opportunities. But it also might be a trigger for other people to take profit once that does occur, which means that Bitcoin goes from 42 to 44 maybe, and then jumps back down to 38, right? It could go either ways. I'm not a technical analyst or anything like this, but I just want you to be aware of that. Do not focus solely on the green numbers today. Look at the bigger picture, the last 7 days, the last 14 days, but take into consideration the $3.8 billion that was added in the last 2 days to the market, with a lot of hype and a lot of news. And we can see this basically on the 7-day percentages in terms of volumes on OpenSea. 358% increase, 310, 881%. The floors are through the roof on any of the Bored Ape Yacht Club products. However, the last 24 hours, the volumes are already down, right? So things are slowing down slowly. Basically, the spillover as follows. Apecoin goes into the market. People start selling or trading their Bored Ape products. The money from the Apecoin either goes into other NFT projects. As you can see, volumes are up on the 7-day for most of the blue chip project or good projects, so to say. Any of the top 100 projects on average is green on the last 7 days. What is very important to note, however, same as with the crypto, this is unsustainable most likely, because the market indicator the index is still in fear and not in greed. So what that means is that over the next couple of days, every time the 24 hours might not be as bullish, all these numbers will turn red, which means that the bearish pattern continues. Or not, we'll have to see. But that's basically what I wanted to let you know. Keep that in mind and ensure you don't get trapped there. I hope this all makes sense. The crypto market is exciting again, a lot of moving things. I hope you check back tomorrow for more updates. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.